record. Perfect. Okay, take it away, Allison.
Okay, good morning, everyone. As Mike said, my name is Allison. I'm a certified yoga teacher, and I'm super excited to lead you through this half-hour yoga flow class. I know it might sound short, but I promise you that we can definitely get some beautiful movement and some stretches in half an hour, and hopefully you leave this class feeling really great. Just a couple of disclaimers, go at your own pace and listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, please stop. And but this is a pretty gentle class. It's for all levels. So with that, we're going to be standing mainly throughout this entire class. There will be some balancing poses. So feel free, if you have any balancing issues, you can have a chair close by to hold on to. I've got a wall. I can demonstrate how you might want to use the wall for the balancing. And then at the end, we will come to a seated relaxation. So again, you can come down to the floor or a chair. You can even stand. So to begin, I invite you to stand in a comfortable position. We'll simply just start by taking a few breaths together. Perhaps you may like to place one hand on your belly below the belly button, one hand over your heart. And we're just going to take a few cleansing deep breaths in and out through our nose. You're welcome to have your eyes closed or open, staring down at the floor. It's a lovely way to start our practice just by connecting to our breath. And after your next exhale, we'll just relax our hands down. We're going to start. We're going to bring our shoulders up towards our ears and then roll them back and relax. Perhaps you might like to let out a sigh. Inhale, bringing those shoulders up, and exhale. And one more time. Beautiful. Let those shoulders relax. We're going to bring one ear down to one shoulder. So again, keeping those shoulders relaxed, bringing that ear down. But we're going to bring in some gentle movement here. Perhaps shaking your head yes and no. And we're going very carefully here. We always want to be careful with the neck. But in the morning especially, it's a wonderful time to bring some movement into your neck and your shoulders, depending how you slept, any tightness from sleeping. After your next exhale, we'll come back up through center, and then we'll go over to the other side. And welcome to those who have just joined us. We're just starting with some gentle warm-ups here. So again, just inviting that movement into your neck, some gentle shakes of the head, yes and no. And after your next exhale, we'll come back up to center. Working on our shoulders a little bit more. We're going to inhale and bring one arm all the way back. Exhale, bringing the other arm back. And we're going to let that breath guide this movement. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling our shoulders. A bit of an opening in our chest here. Then we're going to pause and we'll go the other direction with the opposite arm. So inhale, coming forward, and then exhale, coming forward. And then one more on each side. And then let's just let those shoulders relax. We want to open up our spine now. So if you're familiar with yoga, you might be familiar with the cat-cow. That's where we're rounding the spine. We're going to do a standing version of that. We're going to bring our hands up to our shoulders. When we're inhaling, we're drawing the elbows back towards each other, chest extended, gazing upwards. On the exhale, we're rounding the spine, bringing those elbows to touch and bringing your chin to your chest. And then we're going to continue doing that. So at your own pace, letting your breath guide you. We're really opening up the spine here. Getting out all those little crinkles. At least for me, I'm making lots of noise over here. Beautiful. And we'll do one more inhale and exhale. And then we'll allow the hands to come down, the shoulders to relax. Opening up the sides of our bodies here. We're going to inhale, bring those arms up overhead. And then we're going to exhale, reaching over to one side. So we're really kicking that outer hip out. And both feet are firmly planted into the ground. So it's not a waist stretch here, or a waist bend, I should say. We're really extending that hip. Breathing into the sides of our body. And then we're going to inhale and come up. And then exhale over to the other side. Beautiful side stretch here. Opening everything up. And inhale, coming up. And we're going to relax. We're going to come into a forward bend. This version of the forward bend is called a rag doll because we're really just letting everything hang out. So we're going to start in our mountain pose. So the outside edges of our feet are parallel to one another. We're standing up nice and tall here. Shoulders are relaxed. Inhale the arms up overhead. Then with our chest extended, leading forward, we're coming down, hinging from our hips, allowing our tummy and our torso. I'll show you from the side how that looks. Our tummy and our torso are resting on the tops of our thighs here. We're coming all the way down, releasing the head and the neck. In this pose, you're welcome to keep a soft bend in the knee, especially since we're still just warming up. But of course, you are welcome to straighten those legs if you would like to get a bit more of a hamstring stretch. But what I'm going to invite you to do is just let those arms hang. You can sway them from side to side. You can grab onto alternate elbows, allowing the weight to fall into the front part of your feet, but also just really letting that head and that neck release. The beautiful stretch just to release any tension in your back. Now, of course, if you do have any low back issues, you might want to keep that bend in the knees and not let yourself completely collapse forward. You can also use the wall if that's more comfortable for you. Keeping your back nice and long, keeping your hands on the wall. And again, just letting that head and the neck release. We'll take another inhale and exhale here. And then very slowly, making your way back up to a standing position. Taking care to come up slow every time we have our head down in an inversion like that. Sometimes when we come up too quickly, it can make us feel a bit dizzy or lightheaded. So taking your time. And then shaking that out, we'll move into working on our legs. So we're going to be back in our mountain pose here, standing nice and tall. And we're going to sit back in our imaginary chair. So we're going to inhale the arms up overhead, shoulders relaxed, and sitting back into our heels. So you still want to be able to see your toes. So if you look down, you can see your toes. And we're sitting nice and low in those hips there. Let that bottom really sit. Again, I'll show you how that looks from the side. So really sitting nice and low, feeling those hips working, putting your weight into your heels. Our back is long. And taking another breath here, inhaling to come up and bring our arms down. We're going to come into the chair again, and this time we're going to add a twist to that. So again, we inhale the arms up. We're going to sit down. Perhaps we're sitting a little deeper this time, really starting to feel the weight or the strength in our legs, holding our weight. Bringing our hands to our heart. We're going to bring that outside left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And then looking over the right shoulder. If that's a bit too intense for you, you can stay in your chair and just open the arms up to the side. It's a bit more of a gentle twist. But we're going to take a couple of breaths here. Waking up our digestive system. Beautiful. And then coming back through center and coming to stand and relaxing the arms. We're going to come into chair again. We're going to do it on the other side. In yoga, what we do on one side, we do on the other. We inhale, we come up, and we sit back into our chair. And again, you can come into your version of the twist. So it can be elbow to the outside of the knee, or you can have an open arms twist if that's a bit easier for you. Again, I'll show you from the side. Beautiful, really letting yourself have some nice deep breaths here. And then exhale, coming back through center, coming up to stand. We're gonna come into a high lunge. So stepping your left foot back, you would like to have that right knee on top of the right ankle, back leg straight out behind you. Gentle curve in our back here. We're gonna inhale those arms up overhead. And then exhale, we're gonna twist, opening the arms to the side. And then inhale, bringing the arms up. And then we're gonna exhale and twist over to the other side. So looking over your right side. And then come back to center. Inhale the arms up. And then step that foot back. Now we're gonna step the right foot back. High lunge on the other side. This time the left knee is aligned over the left ankle. Our hips are facing forward. Inhale, arms coming up. We're gonna twist open to the right. Inhale, arms back up through center. And then twist open to the left. And then inhale, coming back and stepping our feet together and coming back to stand. Take a moment, shake that out. If you need a sip of water, please do so. We're gonna start with our warriors now. We're gonna take, again, like we did with our lunge, coming into a warrior one. So this time when we step that right foot back, the back foot's actually 45 degrees. So imagine it's pointing to the corner edge of your mat. The left knee is over the left ankle. When we're facing forward, the arms come up. So the weight is even between both of our legs here. Our chest is open. And when our chest is open with our arms up like this, we're able to invite more oxygen, more fresh air. So let's take a couple of breaths here. Beautiful. Exhale, let's bring those arms down, clasp the hands behind our back. We're gonna straighten that front leg. We're gonna invite a gentle back bend here. So pulling those hands down, we're extending our chest up towards the ceiling, gazing up towards the ceiling. Just a very gentle back bend there. Being careful with our neck. Inhale, come back straight up. Exhale, we're hinging forward at our hips now. So we're only going down as far as we can while our back remains long. So you want to avoid the rounding of the back here. We're keeping the back nice and long, looking down at our toes. And feel that stretch all up that front leg. Taking a few breaths here. And then inhale, bringing yourself right back up. We're going to come into our first balancing pose. This is called a warrior three. So I'll show you from the front and then I'll show you from the side as well, because you're welcome to use the wall here. But your hips are straight forward. Have your hands down by your side. As you're lifting that right foot back, the bottom of the right foot is coming to the wall behind you. And you're hinging forward from your hips. You can bring your hands forward or keep them by your side. Sometimes to help with balance, having a soft bend in that front knee can help, but don't be afraid to use a wall or a chair as well. So again, as you're hinging forward, the wall is there to support you as you're bringing that back leg out and your back is straight and you hold and we'll breathe here. Any balance pose, if you find you fall out, feel free to get right back in. Finding a spot to look at that's not moving can also help. And then exhale, gently come back to stand and bring the arms down. Nicely done. Then we're going to switch sides. think I got my left and my right mixed up. So this time it's our right knee, I believe. The right knee that's over the right ankle. And the left foot is now 45 degrees. Again, those hips are facing forward here. So that right knee is bent. So give yourself enough space between your legs that you can get that knee bent over the ankle. We're going to inhale those arms up, shoulders relaxed. And again, we're going to take some beautiful breaths here. The theme of all my classes this week has been strength, because so many of us want to start new resolutions, or it's a new beginning for us. And it's nice to be reminded of how strong we are. So all these poses, we're really using the strength of our legs. And it's a good reminder of what we are capable of. So exhaling, bringing the hands down, clasping behind your back, straightening that front leg. Let's get that nice gentle back bend here. So bringing those hands down, chest raises up towards the ceiling. Taking a breath. Coming back up, and now we're going to come down to our intense side stretch. So exhaling, hinging from the hips, coming down as far as you can until the back starts to round. Your big toe can be your focal point, and you're breathing into that whole front leg. Beautiful stretch. And then inhale, come back to stand. We'll do our warrior 3 balancing pose on the right foot this time. So again, we're finding that balance, that stability in our right foot as we slowly bring the left foot back, hinging forward. Again, you can hold on to a wall here. You can have your arms out in front of you. Allowing that gentle bend in that right knee can help with balance. So giving yourself the chance to explore this pose and what works for you. And then exhaling, bringing that foot back down and coming back to stand in our mountain pose. Taking a moment here to catch your breath, check in with how you're feeling. Noticing now you're feeling a bit of heat in the body, we're moving things, we're waking up. We're going to continue with our warrior poses, feeling strong and in control. So the difference with warrior 2 to warrior 1 is when that back foot comes out, it's at a 90 degrees, so your toes are now pointing the long edge of your mat. That front knee is the same, 90 degrees over the knee, toes pointing the short edge, but our hips are opening up now, right? So we're getting a bit of a hip opening. When you find the stability in your feet and your legs are feeling strong, we're going to inhale those arms up to shoulder height. So you can check in, look both sides, and then our focal point is going to be over those front middle fingers. So we're standing strong, we're letting that gaze drift off over those middle fingers, taking some beautiful breaths here, but really feeling that connection of our feet into the earth. Those strong feet supporting us, holding us up. Then we're going to come into a peaceful, or what's also called reverse warrior. That back arm is going to come to the back leg as the front arm comes straight up overhead. So everything down below stays the same. It's just the front part of our body that's moving, top part of our body that's moving. To exhale, we're coming into extended side angle. Our front forearm is going to rest on top of that front thigh. We're opening our chest here and we're extending the right arm overhead. You can look straight ahead. You can also look up towards the ceiling. You can also look down to the ground. Checking in with your knee, making sure it's tracking over your ankle. Ensuring your back foot feels stable, your ankle feels okay. We're going to flow here. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, come back to our peaceful warrior. So the back hand comes to the back leg. We're looking up to the ceiling. And then on our exhale, we're going to come back to our extended side angle. We're going to do that 2 more times, going at your own pace. So inhale, coming back up. And exhale, we're opening up. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, looking up. And then coming back through center, straightening that leg and relaxing the arms down. Beautiful. Sometimes that feels really nice doing that little flow. Bringing our feet just a little bit closer together. Our feet are at a 45-degree angle, so pointing out towards the corners of our mat. Coming into goddess. So we're going to be sitting. You'd like to get the knees over the ankle if possible, so adjust the distance between your feet if you need to. So we don't want those knees to collapse. We also don't want to be hinging forward like this. So imagine there's a pole straight up through us, and we're sitting nice and tall here. Again, those feet are really supporting us. Bringing those arms and those elbows open to cactus arms. The elbows are resting at shoulder height. We're going to inhale, straight legs, bring our hands together. Exhale, sitting nice and low in our goddess. Do that one more time. So we're going to inhale, coming up. And exhale, sit a little deeper. And we'll hold here for a couple of breaths. So really breathing, we're sitting nice and tall, relaxing our jaw. You can smile and your jaw's relaxed. And we're going to keep breathing. Really feel that connection, our feet supporting us. Those roots run really deep here. You can do this. One more breath. And then inhale to come up. We're going to pivot to the other side. So warrior two now on the other side. Right knee bent over the right ankle, back foot now, the toes are pointing to the long edge. We're opening up, arms coming up to shoulder height. And then we're going to gaze over those middle fingers. Chest is open, we're breathing. Beautiful. Let's come into our reverse warrior. So we inhale, we drop that back arm, we gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhale through center, bringing that forearm down to the top of the thigh, opening our chest, and reaching that arm, bringing that shoulder away from the ear. Beautiful stretch here. All at the side of the body. Now let's flow through that. So we're going to inhale, come back to our reverse warrior. And then exhale, extended side. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, extended side. And one more time. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, extended side. And then we'll come back up to stand. Relaxing those arms down and bringing our feet back together again. We've got one more standing pose for you. It is tree pose. So again, if balance is an issue for you, you have two options. One is just keep the foot on the ground. The other one is don't be afraid, hold on to the wall. We're starting in mountain pose. Right feet hip distance apart. Our hips are square to the front. You're going to draw that right knee out to the side. And you're going to place the sole of that foot inside that left leg. Just don't place it right at the knee joint, but it can be below or above. Like I said, resting down. So find where it fits for you today. But really push that foot into the leg into the foot. So we're really activating that midline energy of the body, plus it helps with balance. Squeezing our hands together. Finding that spot that's not moving to focus on. When you feel stable, you can stay right here. Or if you like, you can bring those arms up. Open up those branches. And one thing with tree pose is while you have your knee open to the side, you're still trying to draw that right hip forward. So you kind of have those two actions happening at the same time. Tree pose can be a beautiful hip opener. It's also wonderful for focus and energy. So we'll bring those hands together, exhale, and gently release, shaking that out. Now we're going to find our balance on the right foot. Maybe spreading the toes a little bit, really feeling that stability. Now we're going to draw that left knee out to the side as we keep that left hip forward. And then find your tree on this side. Maybe it's the same spot, maybe it's different. And that's okay, just finding your your stability in this pose. Again, we can stay here, or we can bring those arms up overhead, and we're going to breathe, focusing on something that's not moving, just feeling your strength, your inner stability. And again, if you find yourself falling out of this pose, just get right back in, taking your time. And then we'll bring those hands together, and we'll bring our hands down, and then we'll shake that out. I invite you now to find a seated position. So it can be down on the mat. If you have a chair and that's more comfortable and accessible for you, please do so. If you are coming down onto the floor, like I am now, sitting in a comfortable cross-legged position, you can have your hands resting on your knees, you can have them resting on your tummy, just finding whatever is comfortable for you here. Again, I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable. Otherwise, you can just stare down at the ground in front of you. We're going to start just by noticing our breath again. So we're inhaling and exhaling through our nose. Start to notice where your body is connecting to the ground or to the chair, feeling supported. Letting whatever part of the body that is connecting to the ground or the chair just to completely soften and sink into it. Allow your shoulders to soften. Really feel gravity just letting everything sink down. Your face is relaxed. Your jaw, your eyebrows are soft. And as you're taking these breaths now, your body is absorbing all the benefits of this practice. And taking one more breath here. Slowly bringing some movement back. If there's any little stretch you want, perhaps you want to bring your arms up overhead, reach from one side. Maybe it feels nice to extend your legs or flex your feet, whatever last little stretch you need to do, please go ahead. And before I let you go off into your day, I invite you once again, you can either place your hands over your heart, you can have them in the Anjali Mudra, which is prayer hands over heart. So taking a moment to acknowledge that fact that you showed up today. It's such a wonderful step in your journey of health and wellness. It was an absolute pleasure working with you today. And just remember, if anything felt difficult or challenging, yoga is one of those, it's an exercise, but it's one of those practices that is modified to everybody for everybody. And especially if you have any needs that might need some extra help, when you work with a certified yoga teacher, they can help you with that. So no pose should be unavailable to you. So if anything felt challenging today, please know that the pose can always be modified to suit you. So with that, thank you so much. The light in me honors and recognizes the light in each and every one of you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. And if you have any questions, I'm here.